What is going on, crypto traders? I'm finally back from a much needed 2 week holiday in the South America Amazon rainforest. Wow, what a journey had been. Amazing. Away from all access to internet, away from my laptop, away from my mobile phone. I'm feeling very zenned out, very peaceful. It was amazing. I was in a retreat in the Amazon rainforest, literally living in the rainforest, and it was absolutely fantastic. Now that I'm finally back, let's dive straight into it. BTC. Now, I haven't been following anything fundamentally at the moment. And to be honest, you guys already know my analysis is purely based on technicals, and fundamentals come second. So, therefore, it's very interesting that I'll be doing this breakdown without giving you any understanding fundamentally what is going on geopolitically and showing you exactly what I'm seeing from a technical perspective. Now, at the end of the week, Sunday or Monday, I will be going deeper into the alts and some of the alts that I am looking at, as well as Ethereum. And I'll go into some coins and deep dive into them a bit more. Now, BTC on the monthly time frame, we had the monthly close a couple of days ago. March closed as an indecision candle, but bullish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months of bearish price action, and we've had a bullish indecision candle. It's closed bullish. Good signs? Yes, I do think this is a good sign, but this could be manipulation, and I'll show you exactly why in a second. Monthly time frame, break of market structure. This break of market structure, we had a bearish close, break of market structure, tap into this order block down here, and a rejection away from it. Two signs. Sign number one, break of market structure, price is likely going to come to the downside a bit more. Sign number two, giving us a slightly different perspective, rejection of the order block, close above it, and a bullish monthly candle after 5 months of bearish price action. Possibility for price to come up first. Now, before I go into the details of what I'm thinking, where I think price is going to go, these are my downside targets. Okay, I've been mentioning this in my channel ever since we've had this break of market structure and where I think price is going to head from here. This sign down here of the break of market structure is giving us an understanding that we are likely going to continue moving lower and price is bearish. Therefore, my first target to the downside is 60K, this low down here, or this sell side liquidity. That's the first target I am looking at. Now, I'm not in any shorts on BTC, but I will be looking at shorts, and I'll show you exactly where I'll be taking entries. Now, just to confirm, please read the disclaimer in the description below. This is not financial advice, and everything I'm saying to you is all fun and games. And this is based on my own analysis and my own entries. Now, my second downside target, if we continue moving lower from here and get a close below, the possibility of price coming into the regions of 50K. And in reality, this is where I actually want to see price come. I know I've mentioned down here, I will be dollar cost averaging at 60K. Probably around 10 to 20% of my capital will go into this area. This is where the real work happens. Dollar cost averaging below 50K is where I will be heavily investing in BTC and also some alts. Last but not least, there is some hope that we could move up from here first before moving down. And I'll show you that on the weekly time frame. But what I mean by this is we could get the move and a sweep into this area down here. And the move down could be an aggressive liquidation move, similar to how we had, I think it was around here, it was in November, we had the liquidation event, and it was a huge wick to the downside. Down here, we had a huge wick to the downside. Even down here, similar to that, basically, a strong aggressive move to the downside, basically wiping out all the liquidity, the leverage traders around these areas, and basically just sweeping them out, and then we'll get the aggressive move to the upside. That's the possibility, and I would like to see that happen, to be honest. I would like to see price move in that manner. And if we don't have something like that, we could just get similar moves to the downside, basically. A slow trickle and then a slow trickle back up, similar to how we had this move here. A slow trickle to the downside and then a slow trickle back up and then an aggressive move to the upside from there. Let's go deeper into the weekly and the daily time frame. Now, this is where things start to look a bit more interesting. Weekly time frame, we still within this range. And to be honest, nothing has actually changed since my last crypto analysis I did a couple of weeks ago. We're within this range bound price action here. Here is our dealing range high. Here is our dealing range low. Now we're ranging between these areas of 76,000 to 62,000. What I would like to see and what price hasn't yet done and what we normally would like to see to confirm a move for continuing to move lower is price to come into the 50% dealing range, i.e. come into the premium side of this dealing range, high and low. Here's your discount and here is your premium. What I'd like to see is for price to move higher into this area, tap into this area, and then continue moving to the downside. Now, having said that, we don't necessarily need to move into the premium side. But if we do come and sweep out this liquidity, if we do come up and tap into these areas, we will know what we should be doing here. I will be taking an aggressive entry to the downside as a swing entry short, targeting the areas that I already told you at 60 and 50K. Those are the areas that I'm looking at. If we don't get that move to the downside, I will show you exactly what I'm looking at on the daily time frame for an aggressive move to the downside and where I'm thinking in terms of targets. But that's what I'm seeing right now. Weekly is a bit messy. We've just been chopping, moving around within this range down here. But the daily gives us a bit more clarity, but still is pretty damn messy. So we can see we're within this choppy price action down here. And to be honest, the more I look at it, the more I dislike how we are moving within this range down here right now. So let's start off from this area here. Aggressive move to the upside, break of market structure, price respecting bullish PDAs, moving up, respecting bullish PDAs, moving up. Okay, sweeps liquidity down here, and then we move lower. We didn't tap into this order block down here. We didn't tap into the premium side of the dealing range. And if you remember, I was calling for the regions of 80K to the upside to look for shorts. We haven't done that. As price sweeps liquidity down here and comes into the regions of 76K, aggressive move to the downside. Okay, no apparent break of market structure from this low down here. That is not a break of market structure. That's an attempt of a break of market structure and a failure and a move back up. One sign that means there's a possibility we may come back up first, sweep the liquidity and move down. I'll come on to that in a second. So we've had aggressive move to the downside, internal break of market structure, internal break of market structure, right? This is your external liquidity. This within here is your internal liquidity. So we had an internal break of market structure. Price is respecting bearish PDAs now. Sweep of liquidity, taps into the fair value gap, aggressive move to the downside, internal break of market structure, sweep of liquidity, right? Let's zoom into that. This is interesting. Sweep of liquidity, attempt break of market structure, price moves back up. This here is a strong low. And then we have an aggressive displacement to the upside from there as well. So what does that show me and what does that mean for me? That basically means, number one, price is respecting bullish PDAs here and bearish PDAs down here. Okay. We've attempted to try and take out these areas down here. We didn't actually get into this order block nor this dealing range, 50% dealing range down here. So what does that mean? There is room to the upside, number one. Down here, what does this mean? My targets are to the downside, yes. We've swept liquidity, strong low down here, respecting bearish PDAs down here. And there is a possibility now that we could move up from here. And I'm going to show you exactly why and what I'm looking at. Now, this is very, very choppy, messy price action. So it's very difficult for me to show you a specific direction right now, especially because of how choppy we are on the weekly, daily, 4 hour. But what I can see is, although price is respecting these bearish PDAs down here, what we can see is the strong low that we created down here. Now, I don't know what Trump is going to say and if he's going to be talking over the next couple of days and how the weekly is likely to close based on that. But what we can see is strong low here, price aggressive move to the upside. We've respected this and we have continued from that move down. So we had the displacement. Let's see how this daily closes. Because essentially, if we have a bullish engulfing after this candle's bearish engulfing candle, we could move up from here. Now, my first target to the upside on the daily time frame, short term, is basically just a sweep of these liquidity areas down here, which is your 70K region, 69 to 70K region, tapping deeper into this fair value gap down here. Now, if price comes into that area, there's a possibility for a high risk short entry that we could take to the downside. And I haven't gone into the 4 hour yet, but on the daily time frame, what we can see is this possibility price sweeping the liquidity down here. Entry, stop loss, you can have a larger stop loss at 72K for price to come lower and drop from here. Okay, that's the first high risk entry. I'm not taking that entry, but if it plays out very well on the 4 hour and if it's very clean, I may take that entry. Now, if we continue moving up from here, sweeping these liquidity areas down here, ideally I'd like to see price come into this area down here, 75K. First target around 70K. Second target is sweeping these liquidity areas down here at 72K. Third target is around 75K. And you guys already know my overall target to the upside short term is price sweeping and tapping into the premium side of the dealing range at 80K. So those are my targets to the upside. How can we attempt to capture those moves? Well, I know some of you guys are in this trade from this downside here, from the sweep of this liquidity to the downside. I've got a couple of DMs from you guys mentioning that you took this entry down here. And these are the exact entries that I love to take. So well done on capturing those entries. Fantastic opportunity there. I would hold on to those entries. I would hold on to those. Now, if price comes back and for some reason does sweep out these lows down here and possibly even come to the lower end of this consolidation, I am definitely going to be taking a high risk entry down here. I will be looking for a long opportunity between the regions of 64 to 62K. I will be looking at entries there and I will be targeting the upside targets I had already spoken to you guys about. So that's how it's looking on the daily. Now, I'm not going to go too much in the 4 hour. Actually, last but not least, on the daily time frame, one final thing was what we can see is a market maker sell model. I didn't mention this. Here's your buy side of the curve. And here's your possibility of your sell side of the curve. And therefore, what does that mean? Original consolidation is down here at 62K. If we complete this market maker sell model, we want to see price come into the regions down here. So that's another confluence for us to say price is likely going to come into the regions between the regions of 64, 65K to 62K. Now, 4 hour very quickly, and I'll be wrapping up. Choppy price action. I don't really want to go into any details on the 4 hour, but here we go. We've got the sweep of liquidity down here, price respecting bearish PDAs. We haven't actually got the sweep on the 4 hour, but on the daily we do, which is interesting. So we can see the sweep down here. 4 hour, no sweep. Interesting. Okay. That means that that's a weak high, and therefore possibility of that getting swept. Then moving to the downside, there is a possibility for that. Right. So what else can I see here? I mean, price is respecting bearish PDAs, and we are looking to the downside down here. So let's see how that continues. The only thing I can say down here is down here, this is a strong low. Therefore, if we do try to come into those regions and fail to take out these lows, we know that price will likely come to the upside from here. Now, I'm going to wrap up on that note. On Sunday or Monday, I will be diving deeper into market structure, and I'll be looking at the liquidity of our alts and also Ethereum. Now, if you like these types of videos, I trade crypto. I'm a day trader in crypto and also Forex. Now, if you want to see more information on how I trade crypto and how I trade daily on FX, drop a comment below and let me know. I heavily base my analysis on liquidity and market structure. Now, if that interests you, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.